adrenaline junkies. Welcome to Police Chase. Today, we're launching a brand new series, When People Mess with the Wrong Cops. Every reckless decision sparks an immediate response and justice wastes no time. Let's dive in.
I'm telling you right now. Stop! Stop!
Seminole County, Florida, the 29th of June 2019, just before 10 a.m. Deputy Aaron Blay stops a black Cadillac Escalade on the Interstate 4 on-ramp for illegally dark window tint. What begins as a routine traffic stop quickly shifts as the deputy notices the odor of marijuana coming from inside the SUV.
For any information, the reason I'm pulling you over is because your windows appear way too dark per statute. Okay. Do you have your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance?
How's it going this morning?
What's that?
How's it going this morning, bro?
Living the dream.
I seen that.
Living the dream.
What the hell happened? I seen you on the trail looking like what the hell happened?
All right. Mr. Rudolph.
Yes, sir.
Is there any reason why there would be a faint of weed coming out of your vehicle?
After learning the driver, 38-year-old Rocky Rudolph Jr., does not have a medical marijuana card, Deputy Blay asks him to shut off the vehicle and requests backup. Under Florida law, the odor of marijuana at the time gave officers legal grounds to extend the stop and investigate further, making it a critical turning point in the encounter.
Okay, and do you have a Florida health card that allows you to smoke medical marijuana?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Just left on.
What's that?
Just left the Walmart up on.
Okay. Yeah, I did too. All right. Can you do me a favor and just shut the car off for me?
What happened, sir?
Huh? Well, I smell marijuana.
Instead of complying, Rudolph suddenly becomes agitated and reaches for the gear selector.
Listen. I'm not concerned with some personal use stuff, man. It doesn't even warrant my time.
Black and white. I'm smoking a black and white.
Would you mind shutting the car off, please? Huh?
I'm smoking a black and white.
I understand. Just shut the car off for me, please. Okay? All right. It's no big deal. I mean, I'm not.
You gonna take me from a license to marijuana?
As the deputy issues repeated commands to put the vehicle in park and show his hands, the SUV lurches forward with Deputy Blay still positioned at the driver's window.
Stop! Put it in park! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Let me know you're just trying to take off with me. Step them up now!
Do nothing, please!
Sir, I'm telling you!
Why'd you do
Put your hands up! Put your hands up! You put it in park!
Rudolph accelerates, dragging Deputy Blay first nearly 20 feet, then approximately 100 yards toward the interstate, while the deputy struggles to free himself. Officers are trained to maintain command presence while avoiding the path of a moving vehicle whenever possible, but once an officer is being dragged, the threat becomes an immediate deadly force situation. Deputy Blay eventually breaks free and fires into the fleeing SUV, striking Rudolph in the leg before the suspect abandons the vehicle and escapes on foot. After an 8-hour manhunt, 38-year-old Rocky Rudolph Jr. is captured by the Seminole County Sheriff's Office SWAT team and charged with attempted murder of a law enforcement officer along with multiple additional felony offenses, while Deputy Blaze is treated at a hospital and later released. Henderson, Nevada, the 4th of January 2026, during the morning hours. Police are dispatched after a remote security operator reports a man climbing over a secured construction fence and attempting to hotwire a large front loader while a security guard responds on foot. Before officers arrive, the suspect becomes aggressive, threatens to kill the security guard, and displays a screwdriver as a weapon. Moments later, he starts the front loader, smashes through the construction site's perimeter fence, and drives onto public streets.
Hey!
The first responding officer attempts to stop the stolen loader, but the driver ignores commands and instead turns directly toward the patrol vehicle.
Hey! Stop! Stop now! Stop! Get on the ground!
As the machine continues advancing, officers are forced to make a split-second decision. Even after officers open fire, the suspect continues driving, striking patrol vehicles before the loader finally becomes disabled.
Stop! Do not move!
Shots fired.
Police! Do not move! Right there! Stop!
Shots fired.
Officers move in to remove him from the cab, triggering a physical struggle that sends 2 officers and the suspect several feet to the ground. 33-year-old Juan Rincon Carreno is taken to the hospital with 2 gunshot wounds, while 2 officers suffer non-life-threatening injuries.
Let's go.
Hey, keep your hands where we can see them. Get out of the bulldozer.
Investigators charge Carreno with attempted murder, resisting a public officer with a deadly weapon, vehicle theft, and property damage up to $5,000, and court proceedings are delayed while he recovers. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, the 27th of June, 2023, around 2:30 p.m. Arkansas State Police receive multiple reports of a silver Lincoln MKZ hybrid racing down the shoulder of Interstate 530 at extreme speeds. Troopers quickly locate the vehicle and move in to intercept it. As Sergeant Jeff Preston activates his emergency lights and siren, the driver refuses to stop. Instead, he accelerates past 120 miles per hour, weaving through traffic and repeatedly using the shoulder to evade pursuing units. Near exit 43, Sergeant Preston executes a tactical vehicle intervention to end the pursuit. The fleeing car spins into a guardrail, ricochets back across the roadway, and slams into the driver's side of the patrol vehicle before coming to a stop.
Yeah, just north of 73, slow down, but bring it up,
With the wrecked vehicle disabled, troopers immediately order the driver out at gunpoint. He complies with commands, is taken to the ground, and is handcuffed without further resistance.
Hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Got me covered?
Yeah,
cuffed.
The driver is identified as Casey Register, who is treated for minor injuries before being released to the Dub Brassel Detention Center. An inventory search of the vehicle recovers suspected THC cannabis oil and a vapor-smoking pipe, and Register is booked into jail following the pursuit. Little Rock, Arkansas, the 18th of July 2024, around 3:23 p.m. A state trooper stops a black sedan after clocking it at 77 miles per hour in a 60 miles per hour zone. The driver claims she's rushing her child to the doctor, says she has no driver's license, registration, or insurance, and provides the name Becca Smith.
Afternoon, Trooper Cass, Arkansas State Police. So I stopped you for speeding. Okay.
As the trooper returns to his patrol car to verify the information, the driver suddenly accelerates away from the shoulder. A pursuit begins as she runs red lights and stop signs, reaches speeds of 80 to 90 miles per hour on city streets, and later exceeds 100 miles per hour on Interstate 430.
Now you gotta keep giving those speeds in traffic.
With the danger to other motorists escalating, the trooper performs a tactical vehicle intervention to stop the fleeing car. The sedan strikes a guardrail, rolls into the median, and the driver is thrown from the vehicle during the crash.
Roll over, right in the ground. Get it in the median, roll over.
Yeah, started 10:16 and the 10:11 vehicles rolled in the median.
Officers immediately shift from pursuit to rescue, locating the ejected driver in the median and checking for signs of life while requesting emergency medical assistance. They carefully avoid moving her, monitor her breathing, and continue providing aid until paramedics arrive. The driver is later identified as Diviona Bullock, who is hospitalized following the rollover. Investigators say an arrest warrant will be issued upon her release from the hospital in connection with the pursuit and crash.
Take it. Take this with you, okay? No. Hey, no, you reach it. No.
Greenbrier, Virginia, the 23rd of April, 2025, around 2:35 p.m. A Fairfax County officer stops a 1,999 Toyota Corolla on Majestic Lane for an expired safety inspection.
Or call George Bush.
What's your driver's license?
No, there's no. I don't have a driving license.
Why not?
Go back, sit in the car, and leave.
No, sir.
No?
It doesn't work that way.
Okay, so go ahead, do whatever you want to do.
Can I get your name?
No.
No?
No. You're killing me. People don't get a disability. Oh, I have kids and I have a lot of bullshit things. So why you treat me this way?
The driver immediately tells the officer he's armed, refuses to provide identification, and the routine traffic stop begins to deteriorate.
Every time you come and fucking pull me over, every time.
Do you have the registration of the vehicle?
Nothing.
You got nothing?
Nothing.
All right.
Yeah.
And you don't want to give me your name?
Sir, why? Look. Hey, I died when I was serving you with you liars, with you people, with American status.
I served as well, sir.
Yeah. So you brought me to you fucking people brought me to this goddamn country, and I'm dying every fucking single day, and I have 4 children, and we wholly survive because you're a fucking racist people.
As the conversation continues, 36-year-old Jamal Wali becomes increasingly argumentative, repeatedly refusing lawful commands, while officers request a supervisor and additional units. When an officer knows a motorist is armed and refusing to identify himself, officers are trained to slow the encounter, maintain distance, and coordinate with backup rather than rush the contact.
I'm telling you, don't reach. I'm telling you, don't reach. I don't give a damn fuck. I don't give a damn fuck. If you fucking do anything, don't do anything.
Sir, I stopped you for a lawful traffic stop.
I don't give a damn fuck.
Okay.
You liars.
I'm not lying.
No, you're lying.
It's obviously right there.
You are no. Today's
So
the day, buddy.
what I'm asking for.
Turning point comes when Wali repeatedly reaches toward his firearm, despite multiple warnings to stop. Officers immediately recognize the escalating threat, continue issuing commands, and prepare to respond as additional units arrive on scene.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, you're sorry to hear that? No, don't play that bullshit.
So you don't have a registration of the vehicle?
You know what? Listen, you're American, okay?
Yes.
Yes, you are American. I give you my fucking, what do you call that shit? Take it. They took my driving license.
So
Okay.
they took it away?
Yeah, for no fucking reason. I have a hard time with court. I'll show you the paperwork. You won't believe what they say.
Units perhaps 1080, slow it down, 1441.
Hey,
So-
listen, American.
Wali suddenly draws his handgun and opens fire, striking 2 officers with a single round. Officer Ian LaChapelle, positioned away from the line of fire, returns fire, using his angle to stop the deadly assault before the gunman can continue shooting.
Listen, American. Take it. Take this with you, okay? No.
Hey, no, you reach it. No.
41.
Hey,
So-
listen, American. Take it. Take this with you, okay?
So now you want to give me that?
Hey, don't you reach it. No. I take this with you, okay?
So now you want to
No.
Hey, don't you reach it.
No.
Additional officers move in to secure the scene and immediately begin rendering first aid to the wounded. 36-year-old Jamal Wali is transported to a nearby hospital where he is pronounced dead, while both injured officers survive after treatment for non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. Police later state that Officer LaChapelle's use of deadly force likely saved the lives of the 2 officers who had been shot.